had my hair half up, half down yesterday, and when I went to take it down, I had to cut a nice big chunk out of my hair because it managed to just wrap itself around the hair tie in a way that absolutely tangled the crap out of it and tangled around the hair tie. It was great. I have my coffee. So I'm here to update you guys on what's going on with my health and a new treatment that we're trying. Yay! Let's start from the beginning. Back in 2012, I was diagnosed with a rare cancer called epithelioid hemangioendothelioma. It's a mouthful. Try saying it 3 times fast. When I was diagnosed, I had it in my liver and my lungs. And I was immediately put on the liver transplant list in California and then taken right back off by the liver tumor board because I had metastases and I was stage 4 and I really wasn't worth saving. After that, I did a clinical trial in Boston, Massachusetts for like 9 months. It didn't do anything to help the cancer and it ravaged my body. 2014, we took a break. In 2015, we got me on the liver transplant list in Wisconsin for that region. And that one stuck. They didn't take me off that list. So I had a liver transplant in 2016. Yay, so I'm going on 3 years this year with my new liver, and it's doing very well. But over that time, the tumors in the lungs have continued to do their thing, and I've developed bone tumors. According to this new doctor, who I'm going to be telling you about, I have over 8 throughout my skeletal region. The major ones are in the glenoid, which is where your shoulder sits into the socket. So the socket has the glenoid and the tumor is in there, and it causes me pain. I have a hard time with arm movements. Oh yeah, when I got a new tattoo. You're going to be seeing a video on that soon. Also in T4, T5, maybe T6 area in the spine. L1, the lumbar 1 vertebrae, is the biggest at about 2 centimeters. It's pretty intense. I'll see if I can insert a picture here, and also on my sacrum, down in the left sacrum. So being that this cancer's rare, and I'm sure a lot of you are probably wondering, why don't you just do chemo and radiation like a normal cancer patient? Well, that's because I'm not a normal cancer patient. I never have been. None of us with EHE are normal cancer patients, and it's quite frustrating because you kind of have to deal with each issue in its own way. Like the liver transplant took care of the liver problem, and people do things sometimes for lungs that might help, and I haven't pursued anything for that yet because they're not really causing me a lot of issue. However, the bone lesions are causing me pain. I have a lot of back pain, and that's a problem for me. I just turned 29 this year. I turned 22 right before I was diagnosed with my cancer. So I have been diagnosed for 7 years this year. Wow, cool. So I finally met with my oncologist, who I hadn't seen in a while because we're not doing chemo or radiation, and there's honestly not much she can do for me. So why would I pay for doctor visits that aren't going to do me any good? So I met it with her. We had a good conversation, and I told her that I was interested in trying radiation for the bone lesions. Some people have tried this, and it has helped with pain, if nothing else, but for some people also stopped the tumor growth. And if I could stop the tumors in my spine from continuing to grow and wrecking my, spinal cord and shit, that would be really nice. So she hooked me up with this really sweet radiologist, a radiation oncologist. Our meeting was kind of funny. It was last month. She's young, She doesn't look that much older than me. She's never treated anybody with this before. She's never seen it before, like as a doctor. She heard about it like once in school, which is honestly really heartwarming because there was a time, you know, a number of years ago where nobody heard of this. Never. Absolutely, completely new. And I think she was caught off guard by how young I was too. She was a little hesitant to treat me because the way she described it, and I really liked her analogy, they can only treat 5 tumors at a time with this radiation. And being that I have well over 8 in my, you know, spinal region, she wasn't quite sure what my goal was as a patient. And this is where advocating for yourself really comes into play. It's a very important thing to do if you're in any situation, any kind of doctor's appointment. Really, you should have a goal and know what you want, and be able to sit down and make it happen with your doctor. Her analogy was, she says, if you have a garden and you have weeds in that garden, you want to get all of those weeds, right? You want to take care of them all at once. Just want to pull them and get rid of them. And I don't know how I feel about treating you when I can't get all of those weeds. She's like, I don't know. She's like, I just don't feel, you know, confident that we can take care of all of this with this. And I let her know that I wasn't concerned with taking care of all the weeds. Christian was with me, and he piped in and said, what if we just maybe pull the 3 biggest, or try and kill the 3 biggest weeds, and see where that gets us, and see what happens when we treat these 3 tumors. And the 3 that we're going to do radiation on is the one in the glenoid, the one in L1, and the one in my sacrum, because those are the 3 that are causing me the most amount of pain. We all kind of got on the same page. She understood that I wasn't reaching for full treatment, and I understood that she was apprehensive. But once we kind of got all on the same line of thinking, she was more than happy to push things forward. And she's honestly been really wonderful. We've only had 1 appointment with her, but I've had a couple of other like phone interactions with her. She said she was going to call me back the next day, like after my appointment. She was like, I'm going to talk to your oncologist, and then I'm going to call you with a plan. And I was like, okay. I mean, cool. And I believed that she would contact me. I didn't think it would be the next day. And she did. She talked to my oncologist, and she called me the next day. Which blew my mind. She was really sweet. So the plan is to have MRIs of the glenoid and L1 and the sacrum, so that she can really get a good look at where those tumors are. Because we're going to be doing SBRT, which is stereotactic body radiation therapy. So, I mean, this is all insanely new to me, because I've never had a traditional cancer treatment therapy. I've never had chemo. I mean, I guess technically I was on a chemo-like medication in 2013, but it wasn't like classified as such. It wasn't classified as anything. It was a protein inhibitor, but it was a stage 1 and it didn't have a name. To be completely real and honest with you guys, I have experienced more anxiety about this than I have about a lot of things. From what I understand, there's not a lot of side effect with SBRT, and I should be out of it, you know, feeling fatigue and maybe some joint stiffness, but other than that, maybe okay. So the process from here, I'm gonna have an MRI I'm having an MRI today and an MRI tomorrow. These MRIs happen, and then I have to come back down here, I think, because they're gonna make a full body cast thing so that I can't move during these treatments. We're not there yet, so I absolutely have no clue what to expect. So that's what's happening. That's the latest update. I'm sorry I didn't update you guys sooner. I was, again, having anxiety. It's been great. I've also been working my butt off at work. I haven't had a lot of time to myself to just do things. So that's what's going on. That's what's happening. Yeah. I'm really nervous. Not for these MRIs, but for the whole process in general. So yeah, so that's what's going on with me. That's what's happening. It's all very exciting and new. Yay.